Ancient Greek philosophy, the first period in the history of philosophy, has its roots in the epics of the Greek mythology poets Homer and Hesiod. These epics are essential sources for understanding mythology, the first layer of the human mind, and the mythological thinking style of Greek society. In this section, after briefly touching upon the meaning and history of philosophy, we will examine the mythological understanding of the universe, which is the starting point of the effort to understand the universe, the first field of philosophy, based on Hesiod's epic. Now let's take a brief look at the periods of philosophy. The term philosophy comes from the Greek word philosophia. This word, formed by combining the words philo, loving, and sophia, knowledge, wisdom, means love of wisdom. The words we translate as philosopher come from the Greek word philosophos. Philosophos means a person who loves wisdom or is a friend of wisdom, and is derived from the words philo, loving, and sophos, wise. In other words, the systematic foundations of philosophy were laid in Greece, and the source of all Western philosophy that has come down to the present day is the Greek way of thinking. Western philosophy is generally divided into three periods: ancient philosophy, medieval philosophy, and modern philosophy. Ancient philosophy was born in Miletos, an ancient port city in Ionia located on the coast of the Aegean Sea, and spread to surrounding cities where it developed. The question that gave birth to philosophy was, what is arche? In other words, the question, what is the beginning principle of the universe? With this question, humanity set aside everything that had been taught to it before about nature and human beings, all the tales and traditions, and realized that none of these could satisfy it intellectually. In other words, with this question, humanity showed that it did not accept the answers offered by mythology and took a big step towards understanding and evaluating both itself and nature only through its own reason. The human curiosity to know oneself and nature begins with the discovery of the first layer of one's own mind. This layer is mythology, and mythology is the first way humans think. Therefore, without understanding the structure of mythological thought, it is very difficult to grasp philosophical thought, which is the highest form of thinking of the mind, and to reach this level. Therefore, in order to grasp the essence of ancient philosophy, it is first necessary to understand the world of mythology created by Greek poets, and what kind of thought material this world provided for the natural philosophers of antiquity. Greek mythology is like the religion of the Greeks, and this religion is hidden in the epics of the poets Homer and Hesiod, which have survived to this day in written form. The names of Homer's epics, which tell the story of the Trojan War that lasted 10 years, are the Iliad and the Odyssey. The names of Hesiod's epics are Works and Days and Theogony. These epics, which consist of interconnected mythological stories, when first read, can leave a confusing effect with the many names of gods and humans in them, and may seem unrelated to philosophy. However, when read more carefully and in depth, it can be seen that every line of these epics actually reveals all the characteristics, customs, traditions, beliefs, curiosities, questions, and ideals of Greek society. Moreover, they reveal all the emotions of the Greeks, their joys, sorrows, loves, hatreds, and all other passions in their finest detail. This situation explains to us why Western philosophy emerged from Greek society, or the Greek mind. Because these epics are like mirrors showing us the deepest corners of the Greek mind and soul, and all the characteristics of the Greek world and culture are hidden in these poems, in the words and actions of their heroes. In Hesiod's epic poem Theogony, the birth of the universe is explained by the chaos-cosmos opposition. Hesiod, in lines 116-120 of his work, states with a poetic intuition that first there was chaos, and gives a mythological answer to the question of what is arche, posed by Thales and the Milesian school that began with him. Chaos in Greek is derived from the verb kasko. Its meaning is to yawn, to split, to open, or to stretch and open to give birth to something. The word chaos means emptiness, openness, yawning chasm, abyss, and implies that all beings emerge from emptiness or an unknown great abyss. The opposite of chaos is cosmos, which in its most general sense can be translated as order. This term is derived from the verb kosmeo, which means to arrange, to set in order. However, for the Greeks, the primary meaning of cosmos is not just order, because cosmos also contains a sense of religious sublimity. In religious sublimity, there is an awe-inspiring harmony, concord, form, beauty and order, and at the same time there is intelligibility and explicability in contrast to the complex chaos. Also, cosmos in Greek also includes the meanings of respect, honor, even state order, and finally decoration, adornment. In later periods, the meaning of this term expanded considerably and was also used as the known and established world, that is, the world we live in now. We find it more appropriate to call cosmos, in this sense, the ordered universe. When we look at Hesiod's epic, where we establish the first warm relationship with the term chaos in Greek thought, we find ourselves watching a play being performed on a theatre stage, and we see, step by step, and vividly how the transition from chaos to cosmos, or rather from that yawning chasm to the ordered universe, took place. In the first stage of this play of transition from chaos to cosmos, the stage is empty. No gods or humans have yet taken their roles. There is neither the Olympian religion of the Greeks nor their heroes, neither their social and cultural lives, nor their terrible wars, nor their intellectual teachings. In Hesiod's story of the creation of the universe, the second element after chaos is Gaia, that is mother. In Greek, most words derived from the letter gamma or G, for example, Gaia, Genesis, gamet, which refer to the acts of reproduction, giving birth and fertilization, describe the critical moment experienced by the female being, especially the pain and difficulties she endures. Gaia, earth, which Hesiod describes as the secure and immortal home of all beings, means earth in the common language. In Greek mythology, it takes on the meaning of Mother Earth. She is the mother of all beings, that is, plants, animals, and humans. Gaia is a shaping mother, even shaping her own body as mountains and seas. Her mountains have a height, a depth extending into the underworld. First, with her mountains rising to the sky, she becomes a dwelling place for the Olympians. And then with her depths extending downwards, she becomes the abode of the Titans and the underworld gods. As Gaia spreads to the sky and the earth in this way, she also brings contrasts with her. A tension arises between the brightness of the snowy peaks of the mountains and the dark depths of the underworld. That is, the tension between light and darkness. Gaia has to exist together with chaos. These two are like matter and space. They are opposites to each other, but on the one hand, they have a structure that supports each other and intertwines. They gain meaning in relation to each other. Both are creators, but both bring forth new beings from within themselves. They do not intermingle their offspring. The third main element, Eros, represents the force that drives both chaos and Gaia to give birth to something else that will both protect and oppose them. Therefore, what initiates the process is a stir, a movement, in short, to put it in today's language, an energy that first unites the elements and then separates what it has united back into its elements. Eros, which means love in Greek, is desire in Hesiod. This desire is a power over humans and gods, a desire that succeeds in dissolving the bonds of all living things, melting what is solid. When considered in this way, Eros is the first principle of life and cosmos. The emergence of Eros is concretized by chaos and Gaia, bringing forth other beings from within themselves. One of the most important scenes in the play of transition from chaos to cosmos is Gaia, bringing forth Uranus from within herself. Uranus, that is the starry sky, is both the son and husband of Gaia in mythology. Gaia gives birth to Uranus in such a way as to cover and envelop her from all sides. Both are complementary to each other, and together they form the opposite. In mythology, every action also creates its opposite reaction. Therefore, Gaia, who gives birth to Uranus, this time gives birth to his opposite, the sea foaming with waves, Pontos, that sometimes calm and quiet, sometimes terrifying sea that sinks ships with storms. However, at this point in the cosmos stage, we witness Uranus displaying a unique attitude and starting to chart his own course. Uranus desires more power and ostentation than he should. As a result, he opposes Gaia, who gave birth to him and with whom he united to create many beings. As a result of this attitude, he imprisons the children born from Gaia within her, preventing them from seeing the light. This decision is the first individual decision, and the first individual decision is met with the violent reaction of Mother Earth. Being imprisoned within her, constantly giving birth children, causes Gaia great pain, and the pain she suffers leads to an endless tension. Unable to bear this arrogance of Uranus any longer, Gaia decides to join forces with her son and castrate his father. In this scene, which is etched in memories as a result of its impact, the sky is separated from the earth with a cosmic sickle blow, with a perfect symmetry, and this separation leads to new beginnings with the restoration of the earth-sky balance of nature. This balance is the cosmos itself, that is, the visible, the explicable, or the understandable. However, this scene is also the emergence of the ego in Greek mythology and the display of the first game of deception. This moment is the first step in the transition from communal life to individual life. With this family drama, Hesiod's theatrical play gains great momentum, and the foundation of Cosmos is laid. The stage is now ready for the births of the gods one by one, their stories and, above all, the wars of the gods that Eros and Eris will cause, and the rebellions that will be experienced with the discovery of the human mind. As can be seen, this text by Hesiod, who attempts to draw a mythological map of the initial state of the universe, forms the basis of the attempts of the Ionian natural philosophers, the pioneers of ancient philosophy, to explain supernatural forces by natural means and their depictions of the formation of the universe. This text, created by the first layer of the human mind to understand nature and, above all, itself, shows those who want to understand philosophy without mythology and who look down on myths that what is thought today, unless it is considered in its entirety with what was thought in the past, is proof that future thought cannot be placed on a solid foundation.